Hey everyone, and welcome. So, there's this idea that's been floating around Taiwanese university admissions for a long time. The belief that male students really lean on the advanced subjects test, while female students tend to go for other routes. For anyone who might not know, the AST is one of those huge final exams that can make or break where you go to university. So the question is this just a myth we've all come to accept, or is there some actual truth to it? Well, today, we're going to dig into the official data and find out for real.
So let's just jump right in. Is there actually a gender divide when it comes to who uses this super important university entrance exam? We're about to put that idea to the test.
Okay, but before we zoom in on just the test takers, we've got to get some context. I mean, what does the gender ratio look like across all university students in Taiwan? This baseline is absolutely crucial because without it, we have no way of knowing if the test takers are any different from the general student population.
Right, so let's start with that big picture, the total number of male and female students enrolled in general universities. This is going to be our reference point for everything else. According to the official data from the Ministry of Education, we're looking at 214,057 female students in Taiwan's general universities. That's a pretty big number. Now, let's see how that stacks up against the male student population. And for male students, the total is 208,219. So you can see the numbers are really close. But, interestingly, they're not quite the same. And when you see it laid out visually like this in a chart, that little difference becomes really clear. Female students actually hold a slight majority in the overall university population. Now, it's not a massive gap, but it's a super important starting point for our investigation. So, the main takeaway here, overall, women slightly outnumber men in universities. Got it? Okay, keep that baseline locked in your mind because now we're going to see if that same pattern holds true for the specific test we're looking at. All right, now that we've got our baseline set, let's zoom right in on the group we're really interested in, students who got into university using the Advanced Subjects Test, the AST. You think we're going to see that same gender ratio here? Let's find out. Okay, among those admitted through the AST, we find 13,248 female students. Now, what about the male students? And for the guys using the same test, the number is 15,620. Whoa. Okay, right away, you can see that's a complete reversal of the pattern we just saw in the general student body. This chart just shows that flip perfectly. I mean, look at that. The bars are totally reversed. And it's not a tiny difference either. Among students using the Advanced Subjects Test, male students significantly outnumber female students. It is the exact opposite of the big picture we saw just a minute ago. All right, it is time for the showdown. Let's put these two completely opposite findings side by side so we can really see what's going on. And here it is, in a nutshell. On the left, you've got our baseline. More females than males across all universities. Simple enough, but on the right, for students using the AST admission route, it's the total opposite. More males than females. The contrast is just, well, it's stark. You can't argue with it. This leads us straight to the conclusion from the source analysis itself. And I'm quoting here. The data shows that the rate of male students entering university via the AST is much higher than that of female students. Therefore, the observation is credible. So the numbers are basically confirming what people have suspected all along. So after looking at all this evidence, what's the final verdict? That idea we started with, is it true? Let's just quickly recap. We've seen that while there are more women than men in university overall, the script completely flips for the Advanced Subjects Test, where men are the clear majority. So the verdicts? Yeah, the data confirms it. This one is not a myth. But, this leaves us with a really fascinating final question. The data tells us what is happening, but it can't tell us why. So why does this difference even exist? Is this about the subjects people choose, different strategies for taking tests? Or is it something deeper about our educational system and maybe even societal trends? We've answered one question, but it feels like we've just opened the door to a much bigger conversation.